Bitch, I haven't been around dead bodies to know what the fuck that smells like, and how the fuck do you know what that smells like, Jeffrey Dahmer? Hey, what's up? It's your girl Natafe, back at again with another spooky video. Hey, if you're new here, welcome. And remember to always watch this in the dark because it does not make sense to watch this with the light on. Remember, there's always someone under you, behind you, or maybe even both. I would check if I was you. Go ahead and enjoy the video. Here we like to shit ourselves. And I literally mean shit ourselves. We like to scare the fuck out of ourselves. If you guys have any creepy stories that you guys want to share, go ahead and please share them. Like, I'm desperate at this point. Today I wanted to do a video, me reading some scary stories, or they're not scary, like paranormal. Most of them seem just like creepy real life shit that's really just creepy as fuck. So I thought we would read them together and hopefully spook ourselves out at least a little bit, and then that's it, like, you know. So the first one that I wanted to read, just be prepared, they are like low-key graphic as fuck, so just be prepared for that, okay? A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track a bit, and I smelled this really overpowering sweet smell. Being nosy, I pulled back the undergrowth to have a look and found a dead body. The guy had clearly been there a while and wasn't looking great, all swollen and green and black with various running bits. The local wildlife had also been dining well for a few days. I called the police, who told me to wait with the body until they arrived. Being in the middle of nowhere, it took a while for them to arrive, and it got dark, and I was just sat there in the dark with him for a long time. It turned out he had committed suicide for a long time. Afterwards, I had dreams about him, and he would talk to me and not nice things, mainly about how angry he was I had disturbed his resting place. He wanted me to kill myself. Probably just my imagination, but all pretty disturbing at the time. He still turns up in my dreams from time to time, and no doubt will be tonight after typing this.
Well, that's just a little inconvenient for you, sir.
That is fucking creepy. I have heard something like along the lines of a dead body can be smelling sweet. I don't know. I'm gonna try to search it up and pop it up here. But there's just fucking weird. I never understood the smell of death. I don't know. I remember how a dead frog smells because of science class, but I just don't understand the smell of death. Like, people sometimes say,
Smells like something died here.
bitch, I haven't been around dead bodies to know what the fuck that smells like, and how the fuck do you know what that smells like, Jeffrey Dahmer? Anyways. Okay, this one's kind of creepy and short, but there was a dude that used to come into the store I worked in. I was just finishing up senior year in high school. He had to be mid-20s or so. We became buddies over a few months, chatted about movies and video games a lot. One weekend he asked me to hang out, and I had a bad feeling about it, so I said no, and that I was grounded for bad grades. Turns out he killed someone that weekend. What the fuck? Imagine, like, he could have been that person. Like, oh my god. Diosito santo. I haven't read these. I skimmed through them, but I don't really know what they're all about. They're just like creepy experiences. I just searched up creepy stories on Reddit, and these are like the ones that I found out, and I try to find the ones that are the most recent ones, but there's not a lot. This girl I knew wasn't answering her phone when I was calling or texting. Finally she does, and said she is locked in some guy's dorm room in UMBC. I get on the phone with the guy and we start arguing. I say I'm on my way to deal with it. When I get to campus, she tells me she got out, and I pick her up. I want to confront him, and she says no, that he seems really creepy. So fast forward a couple days later, this guy finds my AOL messenger, yes, AIM, and is threatening me and showing me he knows my whole legal name. I just heard a squeak. I'm scared. An address. But also, this is like 2005, so stuff like that wasn't as easy to find on the internet. He threatens to kill me and the girl, and I called his bluff and let him know I'd be ready to meet up with him anytime because I figured he was a keyboard warrior. A few weeks later, he went on a date with someone from MySpace and brutally killed and her. He mutilated her body so it'd be so hard to identify her. He ended up pleading guilty to spare himself the death penalty. John Gomer is his name. They called him the MySpace killer. Oh shit. That is creepy. Now we're gonna go to something a little bit more scary that I know will scare the living bejesus out of me. I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read them witchy board stories, bitch. This is something that was... Okay, this is from 5 years ago. So these are just kind of old stories, but still, I feel like the older the more original they are. Here comes my first ever Reddit post. When I was in college in the early 90s, I purchased a Ouija board at the local Toys R Us. I took it to a party where we tried it out and had a laugh. Nothing significant happened that I recall. I still had the board with me in my car when I stopped into my college newspaper office to hang out with a fellow staffer. I told her about the board and the party, and she enthusiastically asked to give it a try, although she was very skeptical. We put the board on our knees while sitting in our office chairs and played for a few minutes. The planchette wasn't moving. She accused me of moving it to answer our questions. I suggested that she focus on a question in her mind so that I had no way of knowing the answer. She laughed but agreed to give it a try. Very shortly, the board answered green. I said green and looked at her quizzically. She jumped up, knocking the board to the floor and started running down the hall. Hell no, hell no. I followed her, laughing hysterically until she turned around with huge eyes and I could see she was actually scared. I said, "What did you ask?" She answered, "What color sweater am I wearing?" It was near Christmas, so she was standing in front of me wearing a bright green sweater. She couldn't calm down until I got that thing out of there. I took the board downstairs and threw it in the dumpster. My friend introduced me to it. I asked questions of how many children would I and my friends have. I had someone who was crushing on me, but I wasn't interested and he loved children. I asked how many children would he have, and it said 0. It was suspecting, and I was pretty concerned something might happen to him. A week later, he actually died. It accurately predicted my senior prom date, and he was a very quiet and shy person, so I was surprised he came to ask me. It accurately predicted the 3 initials of my fiance and our firstborn child. Not sure if I should be amazed or not. I never played with it again since 2006. I remember in high school, one of my good buddies told me about them playing on one with our other friends. I wasn't there, so I didn't get to see it, even though I trust him not to lie to me. They all seemed pale and scared when they told me about it. One of our friends had an old single wide trailer on their property they didn't use because it was so old it wasn't fit to live anymore. They used it as a type of clubhouse, I guess you'd say. They were all playing one night and asking questions and it wouldn't move. I can't remember what he told me, but one of them had asked a question and he told me that the planchette had flew out from their fingertips, shot across and off the board and hit the wall. They all got up and ran out of there. He said the next day or a few days later, the trailer caught fire and burned to the ground. Shit. My mom always warned us not to play the Ouija board since we were little. And if one of our friends was gonna do it, to immediately leave and come home. We thought she was joking because she's a very down-to-earth person and we didn't think she believed in ghosts or the paranormal. We even didn't think it was real, that it was just a silly thing people do. But she was insistent about it, so one day I asked her why. She said it could make a person go crazy. I asked what she meant with that, and she told me that when she was a teenager, she and a friend played. Her friend started acting paranoid in the weeks after, saying that she was being followed by something and that she felt she was being watched wherever she went. One day, she and my mom were hanging out in her room and they had gone downstairs to get some snacks. When they got back in the room, all of the pictures of her boyfriend were ripped into 1,000 tiny pieces and scattered all over her bed. There was nobody else in the house. A few weeks later, her friend had killed herself. Oh my god, guys. That is bad. We had an Ouija board in our old home for about 3 months after my cousin brought it and left it. Initially, we didn't think much about it, but there was some odd activity in our house. We all got sick, our dog got sick, and all of our cars broke down in those 3 months. It was a negative time period, and when we finally threw it out, things got better. And for the longest time, we had activity in our house, like seeing a man in the hallway, noises in the basement, just a weird feeling. Come to find out, my dad had an old board out in our storage building that I definitely believe contributed to the spirits. Plus, we lived by a cemetery, so that didn't help. When a friend of mine brought hers over after I explicitly said I didn't want it near me, I wouldn't touch it and freak out. She never brought it back. That is so scary. I just feel dizzy every time I sit in that chair. If you guys did enjoy that video, please give it a thumbs up. I'm kind of scared because I keep hearing shit, but I know it's just a place settling or something outside because the windows are open, or one of the windows are open, and I'm kind of just freaking out. But yeah, give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any creepy Ouija board stories, go ahead and share them with me, because I always ask you guys to share some stories with me. I have my Instagram, my TikTok, Spotify account. Go ahead and send some support there. Share some stories with me. My Instagram is open to any messages about stories, or on my TikTok, send me some stuff. You can even send voice messages and I'll go ahead and play it for everyone if you want me to react to it on camera.